Hello students, a very good morning. So in yesterday class we have discussed about the atomic models, and there in atomic model three types of models we have seen, like Rutherford model, Thomson model, and their drawbacks we have seen. Later the Bohr model and why it is successful we have seen that also. So after the Bohr model we have started to discuss about the spectrum of any of the atom molecule. So this spectroscopy, a new branch of physics, has been started to develop. So let's see what is first of all spectroscopy, then we will see what is spectrum, and later in yesterday class I was telling you about the hydrogen spectrum. So let's see them one by one. The first one, what is spectroscopy? This is a branch of physics where we are studying the spectrum produced by atoms, molecules, or any kind of the radiation. So like if you are just trying to study about the white light, then white light spectrum that you are also seeing, so that study will known as white light spectrum, so or spectroscopy. In the same way, atomic spectroscopy we have, molecular spectroscopy, number of branches of physics we have. And after this one, in spectroscopy actually what we are doing, so we are studying the spectrum or the pattern we are observing for atoms, molecules, or different radiations. And this spectrum or patterns are what? These are the arrangement of wavelength or frequencies that we are obtaining in increasing or decreasing order. So whenever you are arranging the frequencies or wavelengths in increasing or decreasing order, then that time we are obtaining this kind of any kind of a spectrum. Actually, like in white light, Vibgyor system you have. So Vibgyor system is what? It is the arrangement of all colors that is available in light from decreasing or in the increasing order of wavelength and decreasing order of frequency. So increasing or decreasing, anything you can keep for wavelength or frequency, that is dependent on you. If you are using increasing order of frequency, then automatically it will be decreasing order of wavelength. So you can adopt that one. Now next, after this one, let's see how many types of spectrums we have. So spectrums are basically of two types here. The first spectrum is now atomic spectrum, and second one we can just use them in molecular spectrum. So atomic spectrum is what? Whenever any of the atoms that get energy from outside, it will go to the any of excited state, then it will come back. According to Bohr model, you know, whenever electrons are in higher state, when they are coming down, then they are radiating energy equal to the difference of energies in which they are making transitions. So in the same way, whenever atoms are in excited states, or in atoms electrons are in excited states, we are obtaining atomic spectra. And whenever we are working for the molecules, in molecules number of electrons are going in excited states, whenever they are coming back, then something different types of spectra we are observing, because molecules can be of homogeneous, heterogeneous, both types. So in heterogeneous, as energy levels of different atoms are different, and due to that we are observing different types of spectra there. Next one, after atomic and molecular spectra, these are again categorized in two types. Both are you can categorize. That is absorption spectrum, and second one is emission spectrum. In the same way, for molecular spectra, even you can obtain these both spectra. So one is now absorption spectrum, and second is called emission spectrum. So here, this is absorption, emission. So what is absorption spectrum? Absorption spectrum is those types of spectrum in which we are just seeing the pattern of the light absorbed, of the energy absorbed by the electron to go into the excited state. So electron cannot go in any of the excited state by itself until you are providing some additional energy from outside. So whenever you are providing additional energy, then that time continuously they will go to the outer states, and this energy that you have provided, if you will just make their arrangement of wave in the terms of wavelength or frequency, that is known as absorption spectrum. Also, we are calling absorption spectrum whenever some of the lines or some of the energies that are missing, means electron are making transitions but that are not appearing in our pattern, then that we are calling that energy is absorbed already by the system. So that absorbed energy you can just make a pattern. So again it is absorption spectra. Like in hydrogen we are observing some of the absorption spectra. So that is also known as hyperfine spectra, that is observed. Next one, if you will again see the scientist that has worked on that type of spectra most, that is Fraunhofer. So emission spectra, if you are going to study about this one, whenever electrons are in any of the excited states, they are making transition to lower states, lower energy states. Than that time, as they have excess energy and in lower states they need lower energy to exist, so they are just emitting their energy there. So that emitting energy, if you will arrange in the terms of frequency or wavelength, that is known as emission spectra. So in the same way for molecules also you can define these both spectra. So definitions are the same. If atoms are doing these spectra, atomic emission spectra and atomic absorption spectra we are saying. For molecule, molecular absorption, molecular emissions we are using the definitions. Next one, after the atomic spectra, these spectra again can be of two types. One is called line spectra, second is called band spectra. So line and band spectra I will just tell you separately here as there is no space again. So line spectra is what? Whenever you are obtaining particular frequencies after emission or absorption, then that particular frequencies, if you will arrange them in increasing or decreasing order of frequency or wavelength, they appear in this form. Means if you have observed this frequency, then up to this frequency no other frequency is obtained. For example, suppose this frequency is of 300 nanometer and this one is now 400 nanometer, this one is now 500. So we have observed the particular frequencies only, 300, 400, 500. Between 3 to 400 no of the frequency we have observed. So this kind of pattern is as looking like the lines. That's why we are calling them line spectra. So these type of spectra we are just obtaining in the case of atomic spectra here, because in atoms discrete number of electrons we have that are going in excited states that are coming back, so they will provide you discrete pattern. Next one, in molecular spectra we are, what kind of spectrum we are observing, that is band spectra. So let's see what is band spectra. Suppose for example you are observing the frequencies starting from 300 nanometers to 300 suppose 340 nanometer. In this case, from 300 to 340 all the possible wavelengths you will obtain. Again after 340, suppose you have again started to observe the frequency wavelength from 400 directly, means 340 to 400 we are not getting any frequency. So that time 340 to 400 you can show this gap, and after the gapping again suppose 4 to 450 we are again observing this type of pattern, means number of frequencies, every possible frequency we are getting. Then again after 500 suppose there is a gap, and for this gap again we are doing obtaining the same pattern. So now this pattern, if you will see on the screen now or board, this is looking like the band. So that's why we are calling it band spectra. Or also these kind of spectra are observed in molecular cases, because molecules can be heterogeneous, they can have different energy levels. So different levels of energy will provide you different frequency or wavelength. So continuous wavelength or frequency we can even obtain from that. So that's why this kind of spectrum are observed. So this is, I think, now clear. Two more types of spectra we can define, that is continuous and discontinuous. So continuous is what? If you are continually observing all the frequencies or wavelength, then that time it is called continuous spectra. Like if I will tell you about again the white light spectra. So in white light, in a rough idea we are saying we are observing 4000 angstrom to 7800 angstrom. Every possible wavelength we are observing here, number of lights we are observing, So you can see now this pattern. Here every possible wavelength is obtained and a continuous range of wavelength from here to here we are observing. So such kind of spectra is called continuous spectra, where a continuous value of frequency of wavelength is observed. Next one, discontinuous spectra. If this spectra breaks after some time, like gyne spectra, or you have discussed just now the band spectra, you have seen after some time they are getting the break. For some range they are not observing any kind of spectra, so these are called the discontinuous spectra. Even you can say the band spectra are continuous for the short range, like I have taken example 300 to 340, they were continuous, but after 340 they will become discontinuous. So in band spectra both kind of things you can just understand. So these are all the types of spectra that we are observing, and we are just going to understand them whenever spectroscopic study we are going to do. So first of all, types you should know, you should have the knowledge about that one. Let's discuss after this the next that we have to study. This is hydrogen level, hydrogen spectrum. So let's see now hydrogen atom spectrum. So for hydrogen atom spectra, first of all, let's see some of the mathematical terms. So first mathematical term, like the energy of different levels. Levels are what? If you are seeing nucleus, different subcells or cells are around the nucleus. Suppose this is n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2 cell, n is equal to 3 and so on. Like this n is equal to 1, if we will just represent it by some line, n is equal to 2 again by some lines, so this type of structure is known as this we are calling energy levels, because these have certain energies. So we are just representing here energies. Now how can you write the value of energies for the hydrogen? So if you will use the Bohr calculation, Bohr model, then energy of any of the atomic level in case of hydrogen, like for Z is equal to 1, we are obtaining minus 13.6 upon n square in electron volt. So if we are writing the energy level of first level, that is for n is equal to 1, you have to put n is equal to 1. Here what will be the energy? That will be 13.6 electron volt, minus sign will be here. Again here if n is equal to 2 we are writing, then there will be 4, and if you will divide it, then this is obtained as minus 3.4 electron volt. Similarly for the third one you can write energies in the same way. Continuous, there will be decrease in energy. Let's see for the third one, like if you will keep the n is equal to 3, so this is minus 13.6 upon 9. So if you will solve, then this is nearly obtained 1.5 electron volt. So in minus n again. So continuous, let's increase the value n is equal to 4, 5, 6. You will, what you will find? You will find this gapping between energy levels that are continuously decreasing. So that's why I have just kept this with greater comparison to this one, because the energy level with R means difference between energy levels are decreasing continuously. So continuous decrease you can just show here. So these are, suppose our n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5, n is equal to 6, n is equal to 7 and so on, infinite. Up to infinite we have different energy levels. Now first let's see the absorption spectrum in hydrogen atom. So absorption spectra is what? Usually in normal state all the electrons prefer to be in ground state. Ground states are what? If you will just do the electronic configuration of hydrogen, then that is 1s1. So below, besides 1s1 we can have the state 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p and so on. So here at the normal temperature and pressure, all electrons of hydrogen just lie in the 1s1 level. This is called the ground state or ground level of hydrogen. Then these states where that are empty at normal temperature, so these are now called excited states. So we are representing by this one. This is called the ground states. We can write this one. So these are the energy levels, that is excited states and ground state. Ground state, why? Because in normal condition it believed to lie in this one. Whenever it is getting energy from outside, then that time it can, this electron can go in 2s, it can go in 2p, it can go in 3s, depends on the energy that is given to this one. So we can see whenever it will go there, so it will absorb different value of energy. So if you will just calculate the frequency of that energy by using Planck's idea, E is equal to h nu, then you can find different frequencies are here. Like this one will get lower frequency, this one will higher. Means you can arrange them in increasing order, that will provide you absorption spectra. So let's see in hydrogen atom how can we understand. If suppose in one this n is equal to 1, this one, in this state usually our electron is, if whenever the energy is given to this one, this can go any of the excited state. So from n is equal to 1, it can go 2, 3, or it can go 4, it can go 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on. So whenever our initial state is fixed, if I will write here Ni and Nf, means from where to where it is making transition. So it is making transition from initial state n is equal to 1 to the final states, any of the final states that is greater than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Any of this state it can make transition. So it is going there and directly you can write the frequencies that is or energy is absorbed by this one. Arrange them, you will get a series of wavelength. So this series is called Lyman series. Now this is called the Lyman series because this series was detected first by the Lyman. So in honor of him we are calling it Lyman series. Now Lyman series is lying in which of the spectrum of electromagnetic wave? One by one let's see. Before that one, I will tell you again one of the mathematical concept that is given by Rydberg to calculate the wavelength of any of the transition that is making in atomic level or anywhere. So electron is making transition from one state to another state, then its wavelength can be given by the formula 1 upon Ni square minus 1 upon Nf square, this is so on. Where number of wavelengths you can observe, and this is Rydberg constant it is calling. This is where to where it is making transition. So in this way you can calculate the wavelength completely. And also by the use of wavelength you can also calculate frequency. So let's see now for the first one, for Lyman series. So for Lyman series, as our electron is now going from n is equal to Ni is equal to 1 to the final states that can be 2, 3, 4 and so on. So number of wavelength you can write here. The wavelength in Lyman series, suppose I am denoting it by lambda L. So lambda L can be written as 1 upon, Ni, that is 1 you will write, so this will be 1 minus 1 upon Nf square, because Nf is varying, that's why I am just writing this one. So this is the formula to calculate the wavelengths that will lie in Lyman series. And also it has been observed that Lyman series is observed in ultraviolet radiation range. So let's calculate the range. How can we define it? So for the calculation, what we have to do, we have to calculate minimum and maximum wavelength. Whatever is the range we know already from the table of electromagnetic wave, we will match and we will see in which range it is lying. So for first one, if minimum wavelength, if you have to see when you can obtain the minimum wavelength, then you know, let's see it by the concept. Whenever electron is going in uppermost higher orbit, so that time suppose this orbit we are taking, so this is the gap of energy. Here we are seeing this is greater than this one, this is greater than this one. Means this one will need greater energy to this one will be greater, and this one need lowest energy to go from here to here. So if energy is lowest, then frequency is lowest for this transition from n is equal to 1 to 2, and that time wavelength will be maximum for this one. So if electron is making transition from Ni is equal to 1 to Nf is equal to 2, then we are getting lambda L, this is maximum. Similarly, minimum value of lambda L, when you can observe, whenever you will have the greatest frequency. So greatest frequency here is observed for n is equal to 1 to n is equal to infinite, suppose level we have in which electron is going. So for that one case we can observe the highest frequency but lowest wavelength. So if Ni is equal to again our 1, that is fixed, it is making transition to Nf is equal to 2 or Nf is equal to infinite, then this time our lambda L, this is going to be minimum. I think this is not visible, so let me just write it somewhere else. If I will just remove this formula, I think you have noted this one. So let's write down for the minimum. So lambda L minimum is obtained whenever Ni is equal to 1 and Nf is equal to infinite. Other all wavelengths will lie in the range. So let's now calculate the range. So what you have to do now, let's put only n is equal to 1 we have kept already. In the place of Nf you have to do right here 2. So this will be 1 by 4, 3 by 4 you will observe 3 by 4 into R. R is constant, put its value and then solve it. It will provide you the value of lambda L. So that lambda L will provide you the maximum wavelength of Lyman series, and this infinite if you will keep here 1 by infinite, it means this will be 0. So here we will observe 1 by lambda L is equal to R already, and if you will keep the value of R then solve it, then that time you can obtain the minimum wavelength. So in this way the minimum and maximum wavelength can be obtained. So do it by yourself, and if you will after the calculation you will just keep the chart or table of electromagnetic wave where wavelength is given. So mass that wavelength, you will find that this all wavelength means the minimum and maximum, both of the wavelengths are lies in the region of ultraviolet radiation. So they are giving you wavelengths of ultraviolet, you can say range. So it means that all the lights, all the emission we will observe or absorption we will observe in ultraviolet range here. So Lyman series lie in ultraviolet range. Also its minimum and maximum wavelength you can just calculate this by this method easily. Next one, the second series, let's see now. Now second series we will observe for the if electron now that is going in n is equal to 2, that is getting excited, it is going in any of the higher orbit. So this kind of series where we can see now Ni is 2 we have, and Nf we are seeing this is 3, 4, 5 and so on. So in this way this kind of series is known as Balmer series. So the second one series we are observing here, that is called Balmer series, and again we can do the same procedure. We can calculate the wavelength of Balmer series, just use the formula that we have written in starting. So or here 1 by Ni square, Ni square is 4 and 1 upon Nf square, let it write in this way. So this is the formula to calculate the wavelengths in Balmer series. Now again do the same procedure for minimum and maximum wavelength. So lambda L, this will be minimum when energy is maximum. So energy is maximum when electron is making transition from n is equal to 2 to infinite. Means Ni is 2 and Nf is infinite. So calculate again by using this data. This will provide you minimum value, and lambda L, this will be maximum for minimum energy. So minimum energy it will meet whenever it will go from 2 to 3. So while going from Ni is equal to 2 to Nf is equal to 3, it will have maximum wavelength. So again you can have the range of Balmer series from where to where it is lying, and now you can match these wavelengths by your chart. So you will find out these wavelengths are lying in the range of visible light. Means now in hydrogen spectrum these lights can be seen by us. So the lights that are coming from sun to us, that is lying in the range of visible light that we can see now. So that are Balmer series. So Balmer scientist has studied about that, that's why we are calling it. Now the third one, let's see. The third series we are observing now. I will just only rub this one. So the third series is obtained whenever our electron is now excited from this state, n is equal to 3 to any of the higher states. Then that time it is now called the Paschen series. The third series under study done by the scientist, that is Paschen. So by his name it is called Paschen series. So this is the third thing, means Ni is equal to now 3, Nf can be 4, 5, 6 and so on. So here you can write 1 upon Ni square, that is here should be 9. And now similarly here we can write Paschen for T. Next one, we can calculate the minimum wavelength. So minimum wavelength will be whenever it will make transition from n is equal to 3 to infinite. So here you can write 3. And for maximum, where to where? 3 to 4 should be here. The first was transition, that is n is equal to 3 to Nf is equal to 4. Now this range, if you will see, this range is lying in infrared radiation. But in infrared, as we are dividing the largest infrared range in 3 parts. First was near infrared, then far infrared. So it is lying in the range of near infrared. Although you can write infrared also, if you can't remind it, then you can write this one. So this is lying in the range of infrared radiation. Next one after this, let's see now 4 series. Fourth one, if our n is equal to 4 electron, this can be excited in different excited states. Then one more series you can see, and this series is now known as bracket series. So let's see now the next series that we have, the fourth series. Again, this is now the bracket series. It is again on the name of the scientist, bracket series. So this is started from n is equal to 4, means our initial state will be 4 and final state will be now 5, 6, 7 and so on. Plus electron cannot make transition in the same state. It will be always go in the different states. So here if you will calculate now the bracket series, suppose we are represented it by lambda here. And now we have to just calculate this one. So Ni square again you have to keep that. So here we have observed the 16. Then minimum wavelength again, how can you obtain? Actually in another term, if I want to change this one, you can change by yourself. So this should be lambda here, this should be lambda here. So this minimum wavelength is again obtained whenever our electron is making transition from 4 to infinite. This is now 4 to infinite, because for the maximum energy we will observe only for this one, and minimum energy we will observe for this one. Maximum wavelength can be observed whenever it is making transition from 4 to 5. Now you can see again the range of bracket series, and this range, if you will match with the data, this is lying in the range of infrared radiation. Now let's see the last one. So for fifth type of series we are observing, this is for now n is equal to 5 state. That will be now the initial state for us. So here whenever this electron n is equal to fifth one electron is going in any of the outer state, at that time we are observing again a series. This is known as now Kuhn series. So it is obtained by the scientist Kuhn. We are calling by his name. This is Kuhn series. And in the Kuhn series, the initial state is now fixed, that is Ni is equal to 5. Final state can be now 6, 7, 8 and so on. So here, if you will write the formula, then this will be now 1 upon 25. So this is to calculate the wavelength of Kuhn series. Next one, in Punch series, if you have to find out what will be the maximum and minimum wavelength, then you have to start from initial state, that is 5 to infinite. You have to start from 5 to 6. Simple. This is the again the same procedure that you can opt here, and you can just get the range. This range, if you will match with the data, this is now lying in the range of far infrared. So in this way you can see in hydrogen, three range of the wavelengths we are seeing is from ultraviolet to infrared. All the wavelengths we are observing here. So that's why in white light we are light that is coming from the sun, that is due to the fuel that contained in the sun, that is hydrogen, and hydrogen is emitting these kind of spectra, and these spectra are coming on our earth also, ultraviolet, visible light and infrared. So I think this information is now clear why three types of spectra we are observing from the sun. So this is only due to the hydrogen spectra. Beyond this we are not observing, we haven't any idea about the spectrum. So only these 5 series we have. So students, I think hydrogen level spectra is now clear, minimum wavelength is now clear. So let's end our class and chapter here with this topic.